The Negotiable Instrument Act. The Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 is the main legislation in India that governs negotiable instruments such as bills of exchange, promissory notes, and checks. To crack down on a judicial exam, it is important to have a good understanding of the following topics related to the Negotiable Instrument Act. Definition of negotiable instruments. The Act defines negotiable instruments and sets out the essential features of negotiable instruments such as transferability, negotiability, and enforceability. Types of negotiable instruments. The Act recognizes three types of negotiable instruments: bills of exchange, promissory notes, and checks. Parties to negotiable instruments. The Act sets out the rights and the liabilities of the parties to negotiable instruments, including the drawer, the drawee, the payee, and the holder. Endorsements of negotiable instruments. The Act provides for the rules of endorsement, including the form and content of endorsement, the rights and liabilities of the endorser, and the transfer of ownership by endorsement. Presentation and payment of negotiable instruments. The Act sets out the procedure for presentation and payments of negotiable instruments, including the rights and obligations of the parties and the consequences of dishonor. Liability on negotiable instruments. The Act provides for the liability of parties to negotiable instruments, including the liability of the drawer, the drawee, and the endorser. Offenses under the Negotiable Instruments Act. The Act sets out the various offenses related to negotiable instruments, such as forgery, fraud, and misuse of negotiable instruments. It is important to study the relevant provisions of the Negotiable Instruments Act, cases interpreting the Act, and legal concepts related to negotiable instruments in order to be well prepared for a judicial exam. Additionally, practicing past exams and answering sample questions can help you to develop your legal reasoning and test taking skills.